Okay, so good afternoon, everyone, and my name is Sugi Yamagawa, and today on YouTubing my slow life hobbies in my 30s, we're going to be making a birdhouse nesting box. I know I said plural, but I don't know how long it's going to take me to do one, so if we actually knock the first one out pretty quick, we'll go ahead and we'll start laying the foundations for another one. So we're not going to be worrying about the multitude of what we're doing. We're primarily today focused on taking care of creating a little bit more wildlife habitat around here, because I'm a very pro wildlife habitat sort of guy. And well, actually, this is kind of in relation to one of my plans for the homestead this year, and that is my garage door that I currently have for my shop. I actually plan to get a garage, one of those like more see-through-y garage doors, because I want more like natural light in here and such. So it'll be kind of cool to like just be able to like see like birds doing bird stuff, especially going into spring. And I know I have mentioned this on multiple different occasions before here on the channel, but yeah, I really am excited for spring. So we got roughly a little bit more than 1 week left in February, and hopefully with March, we'll have some more spring-like weather, at least as far as my local forecast is concerned. That seems to be the case, but we'll see. We'll see when we get to it. So, as you can see kind of here, over off to the left, we have some pictures and kind of a little bit of a diagram down below, and that kind of sort of showcases a lot of what we're trying to do here today. We're going to be working with offcuts of Eastern Red Cedar from the raised bed cold frame build that I still need to work on. But we will actually get finished up next Thursday is when I'm planning to get that done. But today, this is today's game plan. But we're going to be working with Eastern Red Cedar because, one, it is very pretty when I finish making a project. Granted, it will dull to a nice dull brown. It's very rot resistant. There's a lot of good reasons to use it as a lumber for various different outdoor applications. So, as far, like, I really like the design for this birdhouse, because a lot of the birdhouses I see online, they either look like overly complicated and decorated, or they're just like plain and simple. And I feel like this one right here is a really nice mix between it looks nice and it's got a little bit more going for it. One of the design features about this that I really like is underneath the like little like birdhouse hole, you see those like 3 lines, those grooves cut into the cedar lumber. Yeah, all those grooves were intentionally put there so that way when like birds come up to the nesting hole, they can basically easily grab on those like little like ledges, and they can perch and then go in, versus having like a standard like nail or dowel or something. So there's a lot of things I like about that. So I feel like that's enough yapping. We're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff. And today, once again, we are back at the table saw. And we're also going to be using the miter gauge mostly for today. And also we will, in addition, as you can see in this like little gap here, I'm going to be using my dust collection for today. Since a lot of these cuts are real small cuts, basically I'm going to make the cut with the table saw, and I'm going to just like post purge with this thing. Because yeah, I gotta say, like, this has been like a really nice shop upgrade. So basically what this is a remote to a socket that's back behind me that I've got the dust collection plugged into, and I can basically turn on and off the outlet sending electricity to the dust collection. It actually makes for really easy like turning it on, turning it off, and I don't have to actually turn the switch. That's like on the vacuum. That's off camera right now. I don't have to. It's a lot less running around for me. So I am very much excited. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And step one for today is going to be interviewing our boards. And finding out, because I did prepare a cut list for today. So as you can see, we got a couple different sides and a couple things. So there is going to be one tricky aspect to today's build, and that is going to be the roof. I will not fully complete the project today, primarily because the roof I'm going to have to glue up. But I want to knock the roof off. I want to get the roof done quickly, glue it up, and who knows, maybe by the time we get everything else taken care of, maybe the roof will be solid enough to where we can work with it. So, I've got 2 cut ends on this board, so I don't have to worry about squaring any of my ends. And so what I'm trying to find for my roof is I'm wanting 2 pieces that are not, well, I want 9 1/4. I want to find 2 pieces of 9 1/4 lumber, but also have like really nice like square ends. So that's a good piece. Whereas an example of a not good piece would be like this piece here where we have a live edge. Granted, you could actually use the live edge as like the end. Actually, I want to check this out. You're 2 inches. Okay. So you're 22 inches. We got a square end on this end, but we have an unsquare end at the other end. So I am really optimistic about this guy. I kind of like because when we glue this up, we're gonna have like the live edge on like front and back. Who knows? That might make for a nice little like aesthetic. Need to grab a few things here. Oh, measure, mark out 9 1/4. I could actually. I actually have some more game plans for aspects of today. So that's going to be my 9 1/4. All going to be measured up. Keep my stuff off to the side because, well, it's just a good thing for me to do. Let's figure out our blade. So whenever you're making cuts, you just want the tip of the blade to speed past the top of your board. Because the less blade you have exposed to your board, the safer it is for you to make the cut. I was able to do my little check there safely. It wasn't plugged in yet. So we're gonna plug this in. Position this piece. On my miter gauge, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. Woo! Okay. Where'd my little remote go? Did I bury it? No, I didn't. So. Okay. So, this is going to be the first part of our roof. I'm going to leave that little bit of live edge there for the front edge. What I'm going to do we'll just go ahead and measure this out. So we'll set that off to the side. Grab our pencil, mark out, painting. Okay. Then to take my mark and to expand it, bead square, cross, bada bang, bada boom. Doing great. Oh. Oh, we got ourselves an offcut. I'm gonna throw that off to the side. And now we have a working piece. Now, one of the things I want to keep in mind is that my roof is supposed to be 10 inches across. And these two edge to edge, which they're very different. Ah, you're a bit shorter than mine. That's why. We'll just have to take a little bit off that top one. Boop. Okay, that looks better. Cool. So, going back to where I was talking about earlier, this is actually a little bit long. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go ahead and take this piece off of this one. So that way, actually this, I gotta abandon my saw gauge. And since this is gonna be a rip cut, actually, my fence to come into play. Four and a half. So I want 10 inches overall. A little bit of change. So that's 6. A pretty piece of what we got. And then to push my piece through, got my little micro jig. So, micro jigs or scrap. I'm gonna be making a pile over there. And then we have a piece there for that. I probably should have latched that down, but I did not because apparently I'm getting in too much of a rush. I need to slow down and chill. So, now, see which one of my edges fits together a little bit better, and I think this is my winner. That's going to be my winner. And I want to glue these up. So, I'm going to need my tight bond. Number 2, this is exterior grade wood glue, so I can be using it for like an outdoor application like this. But I need to set my pieces off to the side because I need to actually get some clamps, and I'm going to throw a piece of cardboard down. For this little bit of a kind of a mini glue up. Got 2 clamps. Start putting some glue. Apply a generous bead of glue. Our edge. Like that. Real nice generous bead of glue. Press things together a little bit, get them nice and straight. And then for the clamping this glue up, just want to get a force on. Just a little. And adjust. Level. I want to make sure both these get reasonably level, you know. And this is also kind of, so this is a real straightforward, simple glue up. So we're gonna have that there. I have wood glue on my hand, so I'm gonna grab a paper towel. And I'm gonna clean my hands up with one side of this paper towel. And then I'm gonna fold it over. And I'm gonna use the other side. Just do a nice quick wipe of the squeeze out. Just so that way this looks as good as I can make it look. Is what I'm going for. Kinda look over it, make sure I got a good solid seam. Really want to make sure I've got my pieces like level. And also making sure my clamps don't come undone. So, that's all that. I'm going to take this and I'm going to set it in a different area of my shop. Secure it. Because, yeah. That's going to be roof. I'm going to let that just cure for a little while. It's going to take at least, it takes a couple hours for the wood glue to fully tack up, but yeah, don't stress joints for 24 hours, so. But we have gotten our roof cut out and it's glued up, so we basically have that piece done. So, we can call top done. So, with that, I'm going to move back to my pieces of wood here, and we're going to start interviewing them. Now that we're getting into some of our other pieces, one thing about these boards I have is they're little in their width. So like this one, we've got 6 and an 1/8. This one is actually under a 6. And this was actually this was an actual issue with the Bat Box build. I assumed everything was of an even width. I was wrong, and that led to some complications there. So my game plan is to cut out all my pieces and then I'm going to dimension them down to where I want them. So we're going to get our lengths cut. We're going to be using a little like miter length gauge. Do that, and then we'll go through and take care of the rest. So this piece I am thinking of. Okay, so you're short, but you're not super short. So I know what we're going to do with you. So you're going to be side piece. So one of the things I'm going through is I'm trying to find the best pieces of wood that are for like best results. So say for example, my side, I need 10 1/4 inches of length. But for my back, I need 13.5. Well, this is shorter than 13.5. And this is 16 1/4. Yeah, 16 1/4. So this is a better piece for a back. This is a better piece for a side. So do measure. Well, bring my mark across so I have a clear mark, and I will also label. Go ahead and put like kind of an S. Alright, so not visible. But there we go. That's a little bit better of an S. And the S is just going to be like, this is a side piece. This is going to help me identify it. For projects that I'm planning to... For like an outdoors, I don't really care a whole lot. I'm going to go ahead and just write on the pieces that let me know what they are. Versus using my painter's tape that I've used for some of my other projects. Get that. And we'll make a cut. Woo. And with that, let's get some dust out. And we have piece. Granted, we're going to have to put an angle on this, but we'll do that later. That's going to be a side piece. I'm also thinking about side pieces. I have a reasonably long piece, but I got this real bad, like, notched out part. So, I'm going to see how much usable wood I got down here. So, for wood... Ooh, yeah! This is going to be great. This is going to be great. So, we're doing it order. There we go. So this piece actually has just the right amount. Just the right amount of wood we need. Oh, come in. And there we go. So we'll literally just be cutting off this piece and we'll be good. I'll go ahead and I'm actually going to put my S on this side just because the wood's a little bit lighter. I think I can see it a little bit better. So we'll be using this for our side. For our next side. Okay. There. So that's side pieces. Yay! So next up is we're gonna do. I talked about doing the back out, but the back's gonna be 13.5. What was my floor? 3 8. So I can't cut. Ooh, actually, I know what I'm actually. Do I know what I want? Sure. Okay. I figured it out. So I am going to try to get 2 pieces out of this wood. And we're going to be, I'm going to talk about my methodology here in a little while. So, what I'm trying to do here. This, well, wait. That mark represents 9.5 area of board. Originally, I picked this up. I was thinking of getting my backside out of it, because I need 13.5 inches to get my back. And I certainly do have 13.5 inches for my back. However, though, looking at this, I need to also get a... So if I do 13.5 inches out of this, I'll end up with a roughly less than 3-inch waist piece. Not too bad, right? But I also need a bottom piece that is 3/5/8. So what I'm going to do for this is going to be my front for the birdhouse, and I'm going to use the bottom piece for my bottom. 2 pieces. 1 out of 1 originating piece, and then I can choose the back out of one of those pieces I got lying around over there. So, okay. So for this, I'm going to write front. And also one of the things I can do is I can put it on the side where it's not going to be facing, so this will be the public facing side. And we actually got a reasonable serious amount of work to do with this, but we will do that later. Oh, I've got a cut here. I am going to figure out where 3/5/8 lies on. That way we can get our bottom done. Ooh. 3/5/8. So this will be the bottom piece. Woo! So, I want to track B for bottom. Gonna set that there. That's gonna be the bottom piece done. I'm gonna take a quick swig of my tea. Okay, so got sides, top, front, bottom. All that's left is back. Honestly, I'm thinking for the back, might actually be desirable to use this stuff that's got the little live edge to it. Kind of help blend it in with the nature a little bit more, you know? Granted, that side does not have a clean edge. I don't have a clean edge on that side. So, what I think I'll do a quick cut to this side to just clean it. I mean, technically, well, actually, I do actually have to do a thing. We'll actually cut this a little bit long. Because we'll cut this a little bit long, and then later we will actually be making an angled cut with the table saw blade, because what we're going to do is we're actually going to bevel the edge a little. So I'm going to go ahead, because we want it to have 13.5 length. I'm going to call it 14.5, just to make sure I get the length I want. Here, that's going to be 14.5 for me. Go. Oh. And that line there gets us what will be our back thing. Okay, and my blade burnt a little bit on the first part of it. Must have been the knot or something. So this is actually still like a pretty good offcut. For example, if I were to make another one of these, 6.5 inches, so it's actually enough to be good for a bottom. So let's leave it on the workbench for now, because it's a decent enough place to keep it out of the way. So I now have most of my pieces. I should probably what I want to do with this. A for back. I've got a bottom that I need to work. Okay. So now I got to worry about dimensioning these down to a more appropriate length, because they all have a little bit of variability to them. So I'm going to set my fence up, and then we'll send them through, rip an edge, and we'll all get them to like the same consistent like width. And then once we get them to the width we want, then we can start doing the funner cuts, because we do actually have quite a few angled cuts to do. Because both the top, the back, front are going to get beveled, and so will the side. So we're actually going to have to do quite a few uncreative cuts. Now that I'm thinking about this time, I'm actually going to lock in my fence. So I am actually going to set my fence to 5 3/4. Perfect. So what's basically going to happen with all these pieces you see here, all of them are going to get sent through on this side. Take them from whatever they are now, because like this one hit the blade, not 5 3/4. It's actually 6 even. So as you saw earlier, one of our pieces was a little bit over 6. We had another that was just under 6. This one's just at 6. We have a lot of pieces of slightly varying widths. So what we're going to do now, by running all these boards through, is we're going to even that up. So let's get to evening. Okay. A wee bit yabai, but And I'm also going to make sure I take the time to run my desk. Well, actually, I just want to run through these boards. I should probably just be running desk collection constantly. So there's going to be a lot of noise. I also want to take the time to gather some of my offcuts that are being generated. Okay. Last one. Generating some interesting. So, we have some really special things to do with you. Front and back. So I'm going to be sorting these by the treatment they're going to get. So we're actually going to do slides before we do these two. Then start with these. Okay, so the here has done a good job for us, and we're going to set it off to the side. I'm going to sip tea. Tea has been set. Okay. So. Actually. Need to. Yeah, I can actually do this. I can do this. Okay. Sorry about the delay there, but what I'm about to do is a little tricky, and I want to make sure I have everything set up right for this. So, what's going to happen? Game plan. Take my monitor gauge. Be setting it to 45. And this is also just the cheap miter gauge. And thankfully for what we're doing, it's not a big deal if I'm super accurate. So, yeah, we've got it set to 45. So what's going to happen, what I want to do is the setup. Do a corner out of each so since this is going to be our bottom piece, we're going to basically nick our corners so that way we can create drainage holes. Also just but screw it. We'll just drill it. We'll just put some just drill. Oh, no. I kind of like the idea of taking the corners out, because if I take the corners out, it's a little bit more free flowing. Yeah, we'll just light things up roughly where I want. Cool. But I need a little bit more of my board. So, one of the things I do when I bring my board, when I'm kind of doing like this motion, kind of trying to dry run my cuts through the table saw before I actually do them, because that's kind of like, because usually, as you can kind of see by, this does look to be a little bit of a sketch setup, but part of one of the reasons why I'm bringing my clamp so far up, well, just doing this dry run, is seeing how far my clamp is from my blade. I want to make sure I maintain a reasonable amount of distance, and in this case I have about 2 inches, which is kind of close, but it's something I'm willing to live with. So, run it through, take a corner off, and we'll just, like, these will actually be really quick cuts. Also, since I am just trying to get a corner cut off, I'm just going to take this up as far as it needs to go to complete the cut, and then I'll back the piece out and turn the table saw off, swap it around in the little assembly, and we'll just keep going. Very scary. Kind of hoping that would just okay, this is working for now, and I'm just gonna run with it. Oh. What was going? Okay. That really do not like how that piece is really wanting to wedge up. That is. But I also don't want to be taking my fingers that close to the blade. So, in any instance you think a cut's sketchy, always feel free to back away from it. Don't hurt yourself. Granted, we did get a pretty nice triangular little piece. Wood, that'll make for good scrap for... Oh. I would like to create even cuts. Honestly, doing corner cuts would be... Honestly, it's better and safer at the, miter saw. Ooh, wait. I have an idea. This reset, and I need to grab a scrap piece of lumber. There we go. Okay. So, new game plan. Let's get a little bit further away. But still not happy with it. So, what we'll do is we're going to abandon that. Set that up off to the side. This, I'm going to go grab my handsaw, and we're going to use the handsaw to finish the corner cuts on them. Because, yeah, I have no enthusiasm to interact with the American healthcare system. Also, these are pretty small cuts, so doing these with the good old tool saws, really not all that challenging. Actually, not all that challenging. Or at least that's my optimism. But yeah, I'm probably not going to be super focused on things, but yeah, just like that, boom. The Japanese pool saw. So the pool saw was actually one of the big reasons why Japanese saws actually cut on the pool stroke versus Western style saws that cut on the push stroke is that Western woodworking mostly evolved to work with hardwoods, whereas woodworking in Japan, it mostly, a lot of the wood they were working with was softwoods. And it's just better to cut on the pool stroke when you're working with softwoods. Versus hardwoods, you're better serviced by cutting on the push stroke. But yeah, that's one of the few. This is like one of the few times I can just like have absolute confidence in the thing. Because there's been a few times where I'll grab the pool saw and be like, okay, guys, we're just going to be making a few quick cuts and no amount, and a little, way too much time eclipses, and I am trying to make cuts and I'm deeply out of breath. But yeah, there we go. We end up with kind of sort of an octagon. There's definitely ways to make a more consistent cut on all that, but we're making birdhouses, not houses for people. So I have to get like super into like making sure it's like great, you know? Just had to finish off the tea. Just had to finish off the tea. Okay, cool. So lamp I'm no longer interested. But I like to have the option around. So we're gonna work with the sides. So the sides are gonna get a bevel on. Bevel is going to be, well, the sides are, so the length of one side is supposed to be 10 1/4 and the other is supposed to be 9 1/4. What we're gonna do is, all I'm gonna do is actually measure that off. I'm gonna create a line. So that line starts 1 inch off that side and it goes to this other side. So this is gonna allow the roof to have a slant to it so it sheds water well. So we're gonna do that marking with that. Grab our other side piece. We'll mark this other side piece out. Okay. Since I have a bit of ugliness here, I'm gonna want to measure from here to there, and that's just gonna help me cut a little bit more of that out. If I can keep track of my tape measure. Can't, but I tried. So that's the tape measure. Honestly, all I'm using the speed square for is a straight edge. I am literally just using this as a straight edge to make my line. Kind of see the line? It's a little faint. I know I keep talking about the camera upgrade I'm getting, but I have finally ordered what should be finally the last piece I need to actually make everything work. Hopefully. Do now, I want to figure out, honestly, what I really want to figure out. Oh, I did. Originally, I felt like this miter saw square was supposed to work over here. But I don't know. I would very much like to find that angle at some point. So need Close. Busting. But we're moving in the right direction. I think we might have it. That looks really close. So, in this case, unlike with my bottom piece, I have a lot more meat here, so I can keep my fingers here, my blade's there, so I can do. It's a lot easier for me to keep my fingers away from the spinny blades of doom. So for this, for the cut on this and this piece, I'm actually okay doing this without like a clamp or anything. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make a really shallow cut and see how that cut lines up with my line. If that cut line is actually parallel to my line, then that means the angle I've set on the miter gauge is correct, and I can just do one more finishing cut to finish off my bevel. But we're going to creep up on it first. Okay, so. Wow. You can just see the line, so. You know what that means? The settings are right. Oh. Like really close on that. I'm not going to worry about this piece anymore. This is a finished piece. In my eyes, so. So there. Actually, you're useful. Get back to you. So, I don't need to. Oh. That's gonna. Wait a sec. Wait a sec. That's gonna. Whatever. And a bit of that good old dust collection, please and thank you. Okay, thank you, dust collection. Here's a edge. Wait, where's my other angle piece? Nope. Wait, what? Oh, I set the micro jig on it. Yep. Micro jig. Oh, now I'm just checking how well these sides line up with each other, and they line up with each other very flush. Very nice. Very happy with that. Okay. So, for my next magic trick, I have an angle finder. So if I tilt it, it tells me the angle. What I want to know is the angle of these cuts, which is actually roughly 10 degrees. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I just had to, like, get the angle just right. So, yeah, 10 degrees. So that tells me a lot. Well, that actually tells me what I need to do for my next thing. So, these are done. Those are finished work pieces. Nothing crazy has happened to our roof just yet, so what we're going to do now is this is going to get reset back to 90. And I desperately need on my tool budget to get a better miter gauge. This works, but it's not great. So, I I am going to defy convention. And we're going to raise the blade. And rest assured, there's a reason for that. I am going to set my blade angle at 10. How this works. Still true. I very rarely use this setting at my. So, what I'm looking for here at my angle finder, I'm using that to confirm that my blade has a 10 degree angle outslope. So for my front and for my back, I'm going to put a bevel on it, so that bevel will line up with the flatness of the wood. So basically, that bevel will continue across the top of this piece and also the back, and that will allow me to get a much better fit between the front and the back. And also, once again, all this stuff is a lot easier to do if you're using the miter saw. Honestly, I knew I could do all these cuts at the table saw, but I don't know. I'm now facing saw regret. I probably should have used the miter saw today. But I did not use the miter saw today because, well, I can't always be a bright human being. Okay, well, enough yammering. Time to solve. But before I solve, I'm going to practice what I preach. I'm going to bring it back down. I just brought it up just because I needed enough saw blade for my angle finder to attach to. But for now, much interested in getting it to just enough blade. Which, that's probably overkill. Oh yeah, that's better. Less blade, more safety. Okay. Let's have some fun. Woo! Okay. And all the doodles. And we now have a bevel. Camera does not show it very well at all. So, go ahead and... Well. Look at that, chat. Granted, I actually like this so... damn it, I like this so much I wish I could just do this with one hand. Do it with one hand. Ha! There we go. One hand. Because I would like to grab a screenshot for reasons. Because, hey. So, that worked out wonderfully. Go ahead and throw a bevel on the back piece, right? And... Yeah! And that's collection time. I love dust collection time. I'm actually not drowning in my own sawdust like I was when last woodworking stream. Last woodworking stream, I was like drowning in my sawdust. Okay, well. Oh yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect because that means the live edge side is going to be the actual back of the thing. Yeah. Oh man, it just holds. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So we can actually focus. We've got our back, a front, we have sides, and we have a bottom, and we have a top that's still getting glued up. But we are 1 hour in, and this is usually the time I go use the little homesteader's room. So I'm going to go ahead and use the little homesteader's room, and we'll be right back with a little bit more. We're actually going to make a little bit more sawdust before we start assembling. Yeah. Okay, and I'm back. So, we do have a little bit of... Actually, do I have that reference here in my scenes? I do not. I should grab that quite quick. Bada bang. Bada boom. There we go. Okay, cool. So, what do I want to talk about? I want to talk about one thing here we have not done to our pieces of wood. Now, there's actually two obvious things. Well, one obvious thing, one less obvious. And that is, this is our front. We need to put some lines in it. We need to put some lines in it, and we need to put a hole so that way the birds can go in it. So, what I want to do is, now that I've brought my reference up, I should take that down. If I can find it in OBS. There it is. Hello. I'm gonna park you somewhere. There you go. You're parked out of the way for now. We may reference you again in the future, but I'm not entirely sure about that. So, okay. So. Look. So, for my hole, I want the top of it to start about 3/4 down, because yeah, that hole looks really, really, really close to the top of the birdhouse. Actually, I should do quick math. So that's 5 3/4. What is half 5 3/4? That is going to be 2.5 is half of 5. But half of 3/4 is why fractions is a horrendous system. It's going to be just short of 3. So I'm just going to call this at 2 7/8. So I just want that to be a center line. A center line for my hole, because I want my hole to be center with the thing. So, thinking for my line, if I'm referencing, let's reference off this side. I want to start at, I'll do a line at 7, and then we'll 3/8 from there. So what I'm gonna do, yeah, I'm gonna bring my table saw blade really down low, like down low, where it's just sticking out just a little bit. And then I'm gonna take these pieces, set them off to the side where they're not gonna interrupt operation. So I can't fully tell how much of a perf that this blade's gonna cut right now. That's why we keep scrap pieces around. So I'm gonna just send the scrap piece through, see what sort of cut I get, and then I'll be like, okay, is this good enough for my actual work piece that I've been lovingly crafting out of a piece of cedar? But yeah, that's one of the nice things about taking like style cuts is they're like really quick, real. So I think too deep. So here's what it kind of looks like, and that's kind of sort of the side view. I think that's a little too deep. So I'm gonna just take it down a little bit more, and I'll do another cut. And we'll see what we get with this one. Oh, ooh, that one. Ooh, yeah, that's good. I like that. That's a good cut. So you can kind of see the top one is our first cut, our initial one, and then the one below that is, yeah, that's the next one. I like that. That's a reasonable amount of height. So that gets cast off to the side, and we're gonna bend in the miter gauge. A little while. Ideally, kind of a long wall. But what I want is fence. Because for what I'm doing next, I want to do a cut starting at 7 inches from this reference point. That should put me at a pretty good spot in relation to where my bird hole, well, where the bird entrance is going to be. And then I'm going to do 2 more 3/8 apart. Is the game plan. Yep. Okay. So here's kind of our result right now. I actually did not lock my fence. Last cut. And you know what? I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep the 3 lines. I like the 3-line aesthetic. Unfortunately, that last line's a little derpy because I forgot to lock my fence in. That's fine. So, we have all of that. What that means is I get to worry about playing with a drill. Because it's going to be bird hole making time. So what I'm going to do is, well, there's several things. I just got to figure out what I want to do. Is I want to bring my center line a little bit further down, first off. And we'll go ahead and we can kind of like bring you guys in here because this is where we're going to be doing the the next step. I'm going to open this up. And this is actually a big reason. So, the original build plans for this table saw stand called for all this perimeter plywood to be flush with the table saw and made out of one piece. But that was going to generate a ton of waste plywood. So I used waste plywood to make my perimeter, and this actually gives me a lot of like places to put set clamps and stuff. It's definitely one of the like good ideas, Sugi. Okay, so we have our piece secured. We have a drill. We have power for the drill. Then at some point I need to find my Fastener bit. With the Fastener bits, then we can actually drill our hole. Bang. Boom. Fastener bit. I have to make a decision. How big do I want my hole? Oh. Let's say I'm leaning towards 1.25 inches. Yeah, 1.25 inches looks really good. Does not look too big, does not look too small. Again, then I can center it on that line. Yeah, that's gonna be that's gonna be good. That's where we're gonna stick our hole. Now, you can use a hole saw for this, you can use a jigsaw. I just have Fastener bits, and these are, and I think I just paid just under $100 for all these bits, so I like to use them any chance I get. They're very expensive, nice things. Okay. There we go. Test fire. Woo! Okay, let's go ahead. Very careful about lining it up. I want to get it right on them. Once this starts going, it's gonna be that's where it's gonna be. Okay. Okay. So, in case some of you don't know, I put quite a bit amount of force, so I always like to stop and check when I'm using these bits, because I don't want to just poof through, you know? A little bit like that. Woo. So let's undo our clamp. Ba, 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 ba. Boop. I have this collection of sawdust on a nice surface. Oh yeah. I don't think it's perfect. Whoa. I don't think it's perfect, but I think it's something I can be happy with. And that's why you start from the outside, chat. Because you'll get tear out. Which you can prevent that if you just... Because the Fastener bit has a pilot tip. That little diamond thing in the center. You could wait until that just touches through. And that shows you where your exact center is on this side. And then you can flip it over. And then finish your hole out from the back side. But this is a birdhouse. I'm not worried about that. So, front, we have sides, we have back. We have all the pieces we need. We have all the pieces of Exodia. Except it's not Exodia. It's a birdhouse. We're not dueling. Okay. So, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna just clear out any additional sawdust that might be lying around in the table saw. But yeah, we actually get to start assembling now. This is actually kind of like the fun part. So I think for these screws, I like to use 1/8. 1/8 seems good enough. Okay. I do have to be really particular about a couple of things here. Number one is my angle. So I have to make sure I put my pieces in the right order. I need to make sure I have my angles lined up. It can be a little tricky at the get-go, but it's going to be worth it. Just going to roughly line things up as you kind of see here. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab my drill. For this, I am primarily aiming for one drill. Well, one... I'm just wanting to get one screw in at the get-go. Mostly because if I get this one screw in, it will help hold my pieces together, and then I can probably... I'll zip another screw in. Ah, it's fine. Maybe. Because the cool thing is, as you build this project... Also, this applies to a lot of projects. Once your project has a little bit more mass to it, it tends to be a lot more stable. It won't be as like wobbly as like what this initially. Ooh, that feels pretty good. Hurt. Ooh, I drove that in a little rough. I can kind of fix that. There we go. So I did... Ooh. But with that, I can check my top. Look at how flush that is. That's very flush. So we did get a little aggressive with the fastener. That's fine. Grand splitting out is probably a sign that I need to upgrade the size of the drill bit. So we're gonna go up from the 1/8 to a 9/64. And I am deeply sorry, metric use, that I am a filthy American. These are just the units I grew up with, man, I swear. Okay. So we'll do another one right around here. There. And see what I said about once you get like a couple more pieces, once you start to like kind of like bring the thing together, like it kind of helps hold itself. This is what I was talking about. But we'll do. Now, I was aiming for real nice and flush. I got that. There we go. We have a top. We have... I don't know how much of a percentage of a house this is, but it's something of a percentage of a house. But this also provides a flat basis favor there, and just set that there. It's just gonna float. But with that floating there, should be more than enough support. Maybe just a hair, but actually not like critical. Okay, well, I better go ahead and just make sure I actually have my right drill bit and my drill before we move forward. Because next step is lots of fiddling deep. Just right. And setting pre-drilling a hole. And there we go. I was kind of hoping that bottom piece would hold it a little bit better, but I did not get so lucky. Not get so lucky. But I am lucky for the fact that I can actually hold my drill with just a hand. Well, I can change out my chucks with it. Oop. That's reasonably flush. Let's see if we can get... Perfect! I love it. I think I actually have this facing now. Nope, that is actually right. Whoa. Whoa! Bomb's a... Whoa, this bomb's a little small. Wait. Let's reference... 358. Oh, my 5 and... That's supposed to be my 5... Ah! Ah! Okay. Well, thank you for pointing out my stupidity. Okay, so... It looks like once again I got ahead of myself. And these pieces do not go like this. They go like this. Oh. Sorry about that. I should have... I honestly should have looked at my instructions before I was getting, like, really eager beaver. So. Give me my sin about that. Okay, so instead we're building a thing like this. This, like that, out for chat. Then this. Okay, cool. This is. This should be better. Better. Very finicky about this. Granted, I do really like the green. Green pattern on the back part here. Okay. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's like what? That is like worst outcome for me. Okay. Now let's actually go ahead and start actually putting this together the way it was supposed to be put together. And saving myself a wee bit of trouble. But hey. Like, that's kind of like the thing with your hobbies. You gotta have fun. Sorry. Have fun, don't get hurt. Oh, holy snap. Whoa, what was going on there? Okay. Alright, I gotta look at some stuff. So, my pre-drill hole was coming out the side here. And have to... This live edge might be my undoing, so... We're gonna try this out. Okay, I'm a lot more optimistic about that. And just provide me a little bit of support over there, please, and thank you very much. But yeah. This is also another reason why once you put all your tender loving care into like getting your pieces to like making your pieces, it's also why it's important to put the effort into making sure appropriately put together. I'm gonna click on the side on that. Okay, cool. Okay. Okay, we're moving in the positive direction of making progress how we should be making progress. It got a little weird when the bottom piece was just in there, but like not in like the best way, and it was like, wait, something's going on. I am doing something wrong to be getting this level of a bad result. And I was doing something wrong. But hey, you know what? You can change it, fix it, pivot. Hey, don't be doing that. Please don't be doing that. They do not. Ow. Oh, ow. No, sirree. Okay, so this pre-drilled hole has really close to the edge of the board. That is not acceptable around here. That is going to cause the wood to split out. That is asking for trouble. And we don't like trouble around here. I'm going to bring my drill a little bit more in. I'm going to try to keep it a little bit more vertical as I drill this next hole out. Granted, that should be, but that will be better. That will be a lot better. Especially if it doesn't split the wood out. But we're going to find out about that. Okay. Okay. And look. Ooh. Okay. Okay. I can bring that in just a hair bit more. Gosh, I'm gonna have a better webcam for these. And that is tight. Also, we are ultra flush with the side of our thing. So, spin this around and get it in a better position to where I can see it, a better position. You all can see it, and we will get this last screw installed for this side. So this is actually the point where we actually start making progress. That's what we were doing earlier. So, yippee! Because I think next we'll go ahead and we'll install the bottom. There we go. It's flush. Pretty good. Looks like a pretty cozy nook. And if we now stick this in, we definitely have a... Wait, what's my... Okay, yeah, so... We definitely have a little bit of side-to-side play, but that's a little bit... It's fine. But yeah. So what I'm going to do, roughly line this up, my bottom, and then I'm going to do this because the bottom is only going to get 2 screws. One of the reasons I only want to put 2 screws in it is, say I want to clean this out in like a year. All I have to do is take my drill out and pop it into, take 2 screws out, the bottom will fall out. Granted, this bottom will ultra fall out because it is ultra not. Kind of like ultra just floating in there, but that is fine by me. Screw on this side, and then we can, and after we get the screw curve on this side, we will then be able to work on the front. Because the front's, well, I don't know if I'm going to use, I don't know how many screws I want to use for the, I guess, according to the build plans, they call for 3. Well, actually, they call for nails. Oh, flush. We now have ourselves a real nice little cavity here. Man, that screw be made a little bit tighter. Tighten it up a little bit. But yeah, there we go. Now we can out installing. So I really want to pay attention to my slope angle here, because that is like the most determining thing. Yeah. But that, fine tune things, because hey, you know what? I want to be a silly goose of a perfectionist. Granted, part of me is looking at the build plans, only for nails and wishing to be tempted, but you know what they say, when you have a drill in your hands, every problem can be solved with a screw. And since this is now just laying on top, and it's hence very stable, I'm actually just going to go ahead and I can actually go ahead and just like get 2 screw holes taken care of and start attaching all that stuff. Perfect. About 1 more here. Cool. So we'll do 2 more in the bottom area, and that'll be the front installed. So we're pretty much like on the tail end of this project. But that's actually one of the fun things about a nice simple build like this is pretty quick, pretty easy. Just want to double check how these align with my pieces down there, because I have certainly made a few mistakes today by getting ahead of myself, and I would love to not make more. I want to keep my mistakes to a minimal, you know? Like that mistake. So, kind of tried, our wood split out a little bit on us there. But we didn't do it on the other side, so give you guys a look. I'm gonna give you guys maybe a little bit of a tour. This is the back side. This is the side. So one of the cool things with the back being done the way it's done is if I wanted to attach this to a post, I could probably literally just drill 2 screws here. Two good deck screws into like a good 2x4. Not a good 2x4, a good 4x4. And it will be quite secure. As for, we have up front, we have some perch lines so a bird can fly up. A couple good spots to get a good grip, and then they have a nice entrance. Into the entrance, we have the nesting cavity itself. Please ignore the fact that the inner part here is a little bit off, but hey, that's just a thing to keep in mind for the next one, which I know I will not do a second one today, but who knows? Maybe on another Yapping and Sawdust, we might make another one, because so far I like this. I like it a lot. So, overall, looking to be like a pretty good home for birds. But I am going to go ahead and I'm going to check on the status of my roof that I was gluing up. And if it seems reasonably strong, I'll probably go ahead and attach that. Okay, so here's the roof. The glue's not at 100%, but I'm not super worried about 100%. Actually, doesn't tell me. How dare that not be useful? Oh. Let's see here. Trying to figure out how I want to do this. Trying to figure out how much like overhang I want on the sides and such. Reasonably where I'm at, I just want to make sure everything's like relatively quarter there on that side. But that's an inch. 8 inch 8. Probably give ourselves a little. That might be better. We'll give an 1.5 inches on the back. Half. And we're at 1 3/4 inches on the front. Looking. But yeah, this is one of the fun things with this. Figuring out where you want everything to matter with the final. And there's a lot of guidelines in my little image, but my image does not have all my guidelines. I'm just going to visually eyeball it, make sure everything is good. Then I'm going to press. Down. That way, if I want to figure out my exact fit again, guess what? I've got lines for that, even though I don't think you guys can see those. Well, exercise really blind optimism here. My ability to reline everything up. You can kind of see the lines, but I can see them, and that's what matters. So now I got to position this in such a way where I can line everything up Actually, I had referenced that. Well, actually, an idea and it involves scrap. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one piece of scrap. I'm gonna set it up on here. What I'm trying. Ooh, you're perfect. You're perfect. Oh yeah. So I can kind of roughly hold it in the position I want. And this is... honestly, this is like the trickiest part. Gotta get it just... there is your just right position. Doesn't want to stay in that. That helps. So I should be just to really being good. Walk my press against. But yeah, this is not fun. So, I've got that. Grab a screw, a chuck. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get my screw started. Screw at a spot. I can get into. Oh, that just sounded like it was going into the wood. Okay. Exactly what. Better luck if I die. A lot more eyeballing. I think we might. Not sure if this was like the best way to do it, but I'm unsure of so many things in my life. So let's. And has to is. So I'm gonna call it at an quarter. So right about there. I didn't hit. Which is good. And thankfully this is relatively stable. Like I can do this again. There we go. Now let's get some screws in this so that way it doesn't go anywhere ever again and I don't have to worry about it. Okay. On and do a quick side visual. That's pretty good. Pretty good. That roof's pretty tight. Okay. I just need to do One more screw. Doing smart. Yep. Just past my 2. And roughly in parallel with the other one. Do this last screw and actually we'll be done. We'll be done. Okay, there we go. Grab my screw for... Okay, and check. Integrity of the roof. That's not pulling like, but let's see where we can get. Better. It was better. That's all I can say. Roof is on this side. A little bit more of a gap to it, but honestly, that's pretty relatively minor in the... Unfortunately, I made a mistake. And I aimed for this knot here, and my screw just pulled through. Like, yeah, I don't want to hold anything. I don't want to hold any wood. But I want you guys to see build a reasonable amount of its glory. Oh, there we go. Haha, that's it. That is it. Okay, there you guys go. Okay, but yeah. So, birdhouse built. And +1 to wildlife habitat for the homestead achieved. But yeah, sorry that today was a bit of like a short, simple thing, but hey, I wanted to do a short, simple thing. And for those who paid attention and noticed that this stream was originally supposed to go, well, notice that this live was going to go, the stream was going to go live at like 6 a.m. I deeply apologize for that. That was a mistake on my part in setting up everything in OBS. So I would like to, once again, say sorry for that. Sorry. But yeah, in the midst of my life right now being consumed by larger projects and a unfortunately growing backlog of things for me to do, today was like something simple, something straightforward. It was nice. It was truly nice. I'm really glad I did today's stream. So I will say that moving forward, though, going into next week, well, early next week, the weather for my location on the rotation is looking really good, and I have a backlog of chores that I need to get done for spring and the food growing season. So I'm hoping to use that nice weather to get a whole bunch of stuff knocked out all around the, well, all around the homestead and such. So next stream actually will not be until 1 week from now, next Thursday. Next Thursday will be the next stream, and we will actually be finishing the cold frame for the raised gardening bed. We are going to finish that. We just have to put the lid together. I'm not going to install the lid on the cold frame because I want to transport those separately when I actually finally install the thing in my raised bed. But once everything's like put together and in its final place, I'm going to take a couple pictures and I'll probably post those on social media, whatever. But yeah. So that's going to be the next thing in the pipeline. And yeah, I just have a growing backlog of things to do. And today was just something small, something nice. Sorry, I used the plural form for bird boxes, but honestly, this was like just like real pleasant stream for myself to do. A real nice, straightforward build. So I want to thank you very much to anyone and everyone who tuned in today. I hope you have a lovely, a lovely rest of your evening, night, morning, whatever it is, wherever you are. And I encourage you to live your best life out there. Do things you enjoy. Sort of like what I did today. And with that, bye-bye. And maybe see you all in the next one.